Okay. So today I will explain the different IoT communication protocols in today's class. So to start with the outline module of the whole things that I'm going to explain, the first is the network protocols, obviously. So within which the first point is the overview of the network protocols. Okay, overview of network protocols, and after that you have TCP/IP, then 6LoWPAN, then the security aspects, the different security aspects of the networking, the communication, and then the working of HTTP, and also some application level protocols. So based on that, I'll be discussing the design IoT application, how to design an IoT application using lightweight protocol for smart transportation. Now for today's class, I will explain the first point, that is overview of the network protocols, and along with that, what are the different layers are there, communication layers, obviously. So what are the different communication layers are there for IoT, and for which particular layer you are having the different protocols, and obviously the functions of the different layers of IoT. Okay, so let us come to the overview of the network protocol, where you can see that the IoT protocols help to establish the communication between IoT device, okay, or can also call it as a node device as well, and the cloud-based server over the internet. Okay, so which means that the IoT protocols helps to establish the communication between the IoT device. So this is the first entity, and this is the second entity, right? So the device, there is a device, okay, there is a device, and it is connected to the server, okay, or the cloud server. Okay, so let me denote it as CS. So the IoT device is connected to the cloud server or the cloud-based server over the internet. So with the help of the internet, with the help of the internet, the IoT device is getting connected to the cloud-based server. Now, this, if you are only having the internet, then actually it is not possible to communicate, right? So for the communication purpose, okay, that one device is connected to another cloud-based server. So for that, you need to have the IoT protocols as well, right? So along with the internet, you need to have the IoT protocols. Okay, so we have IoT protocols, right? With the help of which your one device, one IoT device is communicating with the cloud-based server, right? Now, the second point says that it helps to send commands to the IoT device and receive data from an IoT device over the internet, right? So as you all know that IoT devices generate a lot of information, right? So when a device is getting used, so a device generates a lot of information, right? So how the information is getting generated? So based on some instruction, based on some predefined instructions by the user, right, or by the owner of that device, right? So let's say there is an owner, okay, the owner is giving some predefined instruction to the device. Accordingly, the device will be generating some information. So how the owner will give the instruction? With the help, again, with some IoT protocols. Okay, so with the help of the different IoT protocols, the owner will be communicating with the device, okay, and as well as the receive data. So the owner is commanding to the IoT device. The owner is giving some commands or some predefined instructions to the IoT device, and as well as the device, after generating some information, so the so the owner is actually receiving those informations from the device with the help of the IoT protocols only. So over here also IoT protocols play a very important role. Okay, so with the help of IoT protocols, the data is received by the owner, okay, from an IoT device over the internet. So obviously you must have an internet connection. So the whole system for this part, if you consider, it is for owner and the device this communication. So all of this communication must be connected to the internet. Okay, so then only you can the owner can communicate with the device, and as well as he or she can receive the generated data from the device. Okay, now IoT consists of several layers. Okay, so IoT consists of several layers, and it operates on those layers or levels. So you can also call it as layers or levels. Okay, during exchange of data between or among devices. Okay, so as I was saying that, let's say there is a device, IoT device over here. Okay, so I will just drop this part and I will again show that. Okay, so let's rub this point. Okay, and I will show you that how. Okay, yes, right. So now that is what I was saying, that one device will be communicating with the cloud-based server, okay, with the help of some, obviously, the internet and the IoT protocols. And where are these IoT protocols present? In the different IoT layers or levels, whatever you say. So there are different IoT levels. So level 1, level 2, or layers, you can say. So level layer 1, layer 2. Okay, so there are different layers. We can I will explain those layers in details later on. So there are, based on the different layers or the levels, the different IoT protocols are there, and those IoT protocols are actually helping to communicate between one device to the cloud-based server, or as well as one device to another device also. It helps in communication. So device 1, if it is device 1, then device 2 is D1 and D2 is communicating with each other with the help of the different IoT protocols present in the different layers or levels of IoT. Okay, and these various layers are link layer, the network and the internet layer, transport layer, and the application layer. So these are the 4 important layers present. So in each and every, in each and every layers, you have different protocols, different IoT protocols are present, and those protocols are helping to communicate with one device to another device, right? So now over here, different IoT network layers are there. So let us start from the bottom. That is, the first layer is the link layer. Okay, this is the link layer. The next is the network or the internet layer. The third layer is the transport layer, and the fourth one is the application layer. So we will consider all of these, layers from like a bottom up approach. Okay, so we'll consider like this bottom up approach. So first layer is the link layer, then the network layer, then the transport layer, and the application layer. Now, as I said, for each and every layers, there are having different IoT protocols, and so based on the IoT protocols only, they are helping. The protocols are helping to maintain an effective communication, right, between two devices, or it can be we can say a one device to another cloud-based server, whatever, right? So I will start with the first layer, that is the link layer over here. This one I will start. Okay. So let us come to what is a link layer, or basically what are the functions of the first layer, that is a link layer. So as I said, so link layer is the first networking layer. Okay. And link layer determines that how the data is sent physically over the connecting medium. Okay. So link layer is concerned with the connecting medium. Okay. With the physical connection medium, with the connecting medium, right? So now the connecting medium can be wired as well as wireless. Okay. So now if we're considering about the wired connection, then we can have actually a twisted pair cable, then the coaxial cable, then the optical fiber cables are also there, and as well as you can have the wireless mode also for communication in the link layer, right? So in short, the function of the link layer is, so link layer is concerned with the connecting medium. Okay, so the link layer is concerned with the connecting medium. So the connecting medium can be wired as well as wireless. Now, some of the examples of the different protocols that are present in the link layer is Ethernet, that is 802.3, and then 802.11 Wi-Fi is also there. Then 802.16 WiMAX, then 2G, 3G, 4G connections. So these are all cellular connections, mobile cellular connections. So all of these, etc. So all of these are different other protocols are also present in the link layer. Okay. So I will come to each and every these protocols in details later on. So first, let me complete the different layers of the networking protocol, the network layers. Okay, what are the different IoT communication layers are there? So this is the first layer, that is the link layer. Now this is the second layer. So now I will come to this one, that is the network or the internet layer. Okay. Now this is the second layer. Okay, that is the network and the internet layer. Now this layer is actually responsible for sending internet protocol datagrams from source network to the destination network. Okay. Now the datagrams contain source and the destination identity or address, which actually means that the network layer sends the different IP protocols or the internet protocol datagrams from the source network to the destination network. So this over here, the network layer or the internet layer is concerned, or it performs the actions for addressing of the different communicating device and the routing of the different packets. So what do you mean by the addressing of the communicating device? So it deals with the start node and the end node, that how to communicate with the starting node, the start node, and the ending node. It helps in the communication, right? So, and also the routing of the packets. So it helps to route the packet. So from which starting node to which ending node the the packet will, which end node will, the packet will receive, okay, by which ending node. So we can have like end node 1, then end node 2, then we can have end node 3, right? We can have different end nodes. So it helps in routing of the data packets, means from the starting node to which end node it will receive. So that part is maintained by the network layer. Okay. Now, some of the examples is the IPv4, IPv6, and 6LoWPAN. So again, these are the different protocols are there in the network layer. So I will come to those protocols later on. Okay. So this is the function of the network layer, which helps in sending the datagrams, the IP datagrams, okay, from the source network to the destination network. And it also helps in routing of the packets and as well as the addressing of the communicating devices. Okay, that is the function of the network layer. Now, let us come to the third layer, that is the transport layer. Okay, so this is the third layer of the IoT communication model. So in transport layer, what is happening is now this layer provides end-to-end message transfer capability. Okay, so which actually means that so this is actually the function. Okay, so the end-to-end message transfer, end-to-end message transfer capability. So the transport layer is having the function, or it has the capability for end-to-end message transfer. And I'm coming to what is end-to-end message transfer later on. So it also provides the various services like the error control, the segmentation, then the flow, and the congestion control. Now, what is end-to-end message transfer? So it actually helps, now this transport layer, it actually helps for efficient communication between the starting node and the ending node. So which means that over here in the transport layer, so the different protocols are there. As you can see, the TCP protocol is there and the UDP protocol is there. There are different kind of protocols, and all of these protocols are either stateful or either stateless. Okay, so I'm writing in short, either stateful or stateless, which actually means in this communication, in this kind of communication, once a message is getting sent from the starting node to the ending node, until and unless the starting node receives an acknowledgement for the message 1 that is sent by the starting node to the ending node, if the starting node is not receiving the acknowledgement for the message 1, okay, so the starting node won't be able to send another message, that is message 2, to the ending node. Okay, so it will wait, actually the starting node will wait for the ending node to send one acknowledgement message to the starting node. Then only it will send another message to the ending node. So it actually helps in efficient communication between the different devices or different nodes, right? So that is what it actually defines the meaning, that is the error control. Like let's say that for the starting node, and in between the ending node, some person has hacked the network, and let's say the message was manipulated and it was changed, it was modified. Okay, so ending node will, until and unless it actually receives the correct information, right? Until and unless the ending node receives the correct information, it will keep on sending the acknowledgement message. Let's say the starting node sent one message to the ending node and the message was corrupted. So the ending node will again send one acknowledgement to the starting node that the message has been corrupted. You kindly send me another copy of that message 1 only. So the ending node will not receive message 2 until and unless the correct message 1 has been sent to the ending node, right? So that it helps in the error control, and obviously it helps in segmentation. Now, what is segmentation? Let's say we have a huge number of data or a huge number of information that that must be actually transferred. That this data will have to be transferred from node 1, okay, from node 1 to node 2, or device 1 to device 2, whatever you say. So now this information will have to be transferred from node 1 to node 2. Then this transferring of this whole amount of data is actually not possible, or it is very tough. So the transport layer is responsible for segmenting the data, which means it breaks the data into more simpler forms, and that is what we call data packets. Okay, so it helps to break a huge amount of data into simpler data packets. And the data packets, let's say we name the data packets as 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, like this. So at a time, only one data packet, so that this one will be sent by node 1 to node 2. And once the node 2 received the data packet 1, it will send the acknowledgement that, okay, I have received that data packet 1, to send the next data what you have. Then node 1 will send again the node this data packet 2, right? After sending again the acknowledgement that node 2 has received the data packet 2 successfully, once node 1 receives an acknowledgement from node 2, it will again send the data packet 3, and so on. It goes on like this. Okay. Also, it helps in flow, or it helps in flow control actually. Okay, so it helps in flow control, like the speed, okay, the frequency of the transfer of data, okay, from one node to another node. So this transport layer is actually responsible to control the frequency of data that is getting sent from one node to another node, right? From one node to another node, the speed, if it checks that the speed is very high, then it will slow down the speed, okay, so that node 2 can send the acknowledgement, and then only node 1 can again send another packet. So right, so it helps in the flow control, or the frequency of message getting sent, so that part is getting controlled by the transport link, right? And the congestion control. So obviously the congestion control. So if a lot of data packets are sent from from node 1 to node 2, so the whole communication system will become congested, right? So that is why it follows the concept of acknowledgement. Until and unless it gets the acknowledgement, then the next message will not be sent, right? So that is how they are maintaining the congestion control as well. So the transport layer is maintaining the congestion control system. Okay. So these are the various services the transport layer is providing, right? And the different examples of the different protocols that are there is the transmission control protocol and the universal datagram protocol, that is UDP, right? Okay. So now I will come to the final layer, that is the application layer of the IoT network layers, right? So okay, so now this is the final layer of the network, the protocols. Okay, so now the application layer, so this layer defines different protocols about how a particular layer interfaces with the layers below it to send data over the network. Okay, right? So which means actually since this is the top layer, okay, so this is the final and the topmost layer of the IT network protocols. So the application layer checks, and it helps, it provides service of interfacing, that how the different layers, okay, send data from one layer to another layer, which actually means that between the how the different layers, are communicating in between. So that is the function of application layer, to check that how the different layers in the below layers that are present, like below, what are the layers are present? That is the transport layer, the network layer, and the link layer. So how the different layers are communicating between or among themselves. So this part is checked by the application layer, right? Okay. So now it also helps in performing the data encoding and process to process communication. Okay, while the transport layer performs a data encapsulation. So data encoding means, as I was saying, that the data gets sent with the help, as as some data packets, right? So now these packets are actually, what, while these packets get sent, these packets are actually, they're they these packets are actually bit streams. Okay, they are bit streams, which are nothing but, like, what do you mean by bit streams? Bit streams are, a combination of, the binary values. Okay, it is combination of 0 or 1 values. Okay, so the information gets sent like 0 1 1, like 0 1 1 0, then 1 0 1 1 1 0. So this, let's say this is a data packet, right? So again, there is another data packet, okay, 1 0 1 0 0 1. So this is again, let us say, another data packet, right? So these are the bit streams. Okay, so the data packets, they help in encoding, the different data packets, okay, into different bit streams, which is nothing but the combination of different ones and zeros. Okay, and obviously it helps in process to process communication. That means, like, one device to another device, it will be sent. Okay, so it helps in efficient communication, right? While the transport layer, so this transport layer, it helps in data encapsulation. So now this application layer and the transport layer, this layer helps in, so this application layer helps in data encoding, and once the data gets encoded, it, like, the transport layer helps in data encapsulation. So the data gets encapsulated in the transport layer, and after that only the information or the packets gets transferred from one device to another device. Okay, so that now the different the protocols that are present in the network layers are the hypertext transfer protocol, the WebSocket protocols, and the data distribution service, that is a DDS, and a lot of protocols are also there. So these are some, to name a few. Okay, so I will just show you that what are the different layers are there finally, and with along with that, what are the different protocols are present, right? So this is the diagram. Okay, so is it visible? I think, right? So this is the application layer. Okay, this is the application layer. This is the transport layer. This is the network layer, and this is the link layer. So all of these layers I have already completed. Okay, so now these are the different, the different protocols that are present inside the application layer. So inside the application layer, so this is the first, this is the first layer. So this is the first layer. This is the second layer. Okay, this is the third layer, and this is the fourth layer, right? Now, in the fourth layer, there are protocols that the HTTP, COAP, WebSocket, MQTT, XMPP, DDS, that is a data distribution service. I just explained over here, the WebSockets, the HTTP, DDS. So all of these protocols are present over here. Along with that, some extra protocols are also there. That is the AMQP, right? XMPP, MQTT. A lot of protocols are there in the application layer. In the transport layer, we have only two protocols, that is the TCP, okay, and the UDP. In the network layer, we have again three protocols, that is IPv4, IPv6, and 6LoWPAN. And in the link layer, we have five kinds of protocols. That is, the first is the Ethernet, that is 802.3. Wi-Fi is 802.11. Okay, for WiMAX it is 802.16. These are the various standards. Okay, so these numbers are the different standards of the different protocols, right? So 802.15.4 is for LRWPAN, and also there are 2G, 3G, 4G, LTE cellular services are there. Okay, so this is again another protocol, right? So these are all the protocols that are present in each and every layer that I was saying at the very beginning of the session. So now for these different protocols, I'll be explaining with one by one. Okay, I will start with the first layer, that is the link layer. From the link layer I will start. It is the Ethernet, then Wi-Fi, then WiMAX, then LRWPAN, then 2G, 3G, 4G LD connections. So all of these protocols I will be explaining, okay, separately from the next class. So just let me know that if you have any issue up to this, that what are the different layers are present and what are the different functions that I have already explained for the different, the networking, the layers that of IT. So you just let me know that if you have any issue up to this, you let me know now.